Hi, I'm Gruff, a cute little bear girl with the voice of a cartoon uncle, and I love romance anime/manga. Really, I do enjoy anime where people beat each other senseless as much as the next guy, but there's something special about a simple story where the fate of the earth is not at stake. Instead, the major conflict is the will they or will they not? And if you're like me, you enjoy the banquet from the past few years with all the shows that belong to what I call the girlfriend who falls from the sky genre. This anime all start the same. The male protagonist is just there, existing, doing absolutely nothing, then the cutest, prettiest, awesomest of girls simply shows up, notices him, and from then on, she never ever leaves his side again. Like I said, girlfriend that falls from the sky. Dude gotta do nothing but breathe to get the girl. She just falls into his lap, sometimes literally. I swear, I still don't know what the hell Marin was doing in this scene. Now, I'm here to talk about my favorite heroine from this genre, Hayase Nagatoro from Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro, and the reasons I think she is unique amongst her peers. The story centers around Naoto, not that one, Naoto Hachionji, an introverted kid who spends most of his time isolated in the art club room at his school. He is voiced by Daiki Yamashita, who also voiced Deku in Boku no Hero Academy. If you call that show My Hero Academia, I hope that God himself smites you with his righteous anger. One fateful day, he goes to the library, and there is a group of girls there. They notice him, notice his drawings, jest at him, and leave. All but one, Hayase Nagatoro, the subject of our study, who's voiced by beautiful Sumire Uesaka, who also sings the show's first opening theme and who will, one day, become my wife. Wouldn't it be great if this video somehow got to her and she was tremendously creeped out by it? Now, Nagatoro relentlessly teases Naoto. Then the next day, she does it all over again. Then again, and again. Now let me tell you, boys and girls, the first time I watched this show, I hated Nagatoro with a passion. I didn't even want to finish it. I hated Nagatoro so much. Listen to me. I'm using the word hate to talk about a cartoon character. I know it's commonplace for people on X to treat cartoons like real people and real people like cartoons, but I am normal. I do not devote strong human emotions to drawings. But Nagatoro? Oh, I hated her. Then, thanks to a friend's insistence, I kept watching and mellowed to the show and Nagatoro. And my perception of her changed. From a girl that made Senpai's life a living hell, she matured into someone who wants to be close to him. To be more than just a friend or a schoolmate to the boy. Someone who desperately craves his attention, but she just doesn't know how because she's tremendously unsure of herself. But before I delve into that, I need to talk a little bit about the story's author and the original version of this tale. Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro is the brainchild of author extraordinaire Nanashi. That means 774. Also means nobody, a clever pseudonym for an artist who is seemingly a recluse. Considering how crazies on Twitter attack manga authors nowadays, I can't blame Nanashi for trying to keep to himself. Like many of his peers, Nanashi started his career with doujinshi, that is, independent self-produced manga that many times focuses on corn. Yeah. Big titty anime women sell, what can I say? Nanashi used to draw naughty stuff, but his claim to fame, so to speak, was the original version of Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro, which he serialized on Pixiv in 2011. The original version of the story was much meaner and darker than what we saw in the anime. Here, Nagatoro absolutely torments her senpai and seems to enjoy his pain. The girl is sadistic to the extreme, and the boy seems to somewhat enjoy the humiliation to which he is submitted. When it came time for Nagatoro to jump from internet obscurity to mainstream manga, Nanashi, probably prodded by his editors at Kodansha, changed the tone of the story. From a cruel bully who derives pleasure from torturing an apathetic boy, Nagatoro became an insecure girl who teases the boys she likes because she knows no other way to get close to him. Alright, let's dissect this thing! First off, why do I say Nagatoro is insecure about herself? Because of the way she looks. The girl is obviously drawn in a way that we, the audience, will see her as beautiful. But the truth is, the character probably sees herself as not being attractive. Starting from her most noticeable trait, her tan skin. Nagatoro is not a gyaru, like many people say. That's her friend, Sakura. Nagatoro is part of the school swimming team, so she's tanned. She has tan lines from her swimsuit that are clear for all to see in many episodes. In Japan, tan skin on a girl is not considered particularly attractive. This comes from centuries ago when fair skin was perceived as the norm for beauty since it was connected to nobility. You see, noble women would stay indoors all day playing Fortnite, becoming white pasty Wednesday lookalikes, while the poor peasants would be working in the field and getting tanned like a Hulk Hogan ready to ruin Bret Hart's title match against Yokozuna. Japan never really moved from these perceptions of beauty as they should. So yeah, Nagatoro must look at herself and feel her tan skin as something that would repel most boys. Sure, there are moments in the show where we see boys demonstrate interest in her, but the anime makes it very clear that those are guys who would hit on anything that wears a skirt and might not reject him. Another blow to her self-esteem, we can assume. No girl would like to be hit on by some dude that would bang a corpse if he had the chance. Now, I spoke of Sakura, one of Nagatoro's friends, so it's time to speak about the gang of miscreants she is a part of. Gamo, who has a fiery personality to match her red hair and trains martial arts at her parents' gym. Yoshi, who seems to have been dropped on her head a few too many times when she was a baby, and Sakura, the de facto gyaru of the group who is seemingly the receptacle of genetic material from half the boys at school. Not judging, you do you, girl. Nagatoro is the smallest and least curvaceous, i.e. the least feminine, of her group, especially when compared to Gamo-chan, her best friend, who is so tall and developed she could be mistaken for a grown-up. We all went to school with a girl like this, 15 and already looks like a business owner who went through 2 divorces. And since I mentioned her group of friends, it's very fair that I tell you they are a bunch of misfits. In one episode, Naoto and the girls are studying to try and recover from a terrible case of bad grades, while Nagatoro already passed all of her classes. She clearly is smart and studies hard, but is hanging out with a bunch of room temperature IQ people, because that is the crew she feels will accept her. Then comes Naoto, who is a very handsome boy. Yeah, he has the physical prowess of a wet noodle, but he is tall, also drawn in a way that makes clear he is good looking, has soft fluffy hair, something Nagatoro seems to be very attracted to, is very polite, and also is an artist. This might not look like something that makes a difference, but being able to draw while in school is an absolute chick magnet.
Ooh, make a drawing of me, please?
Yeah, you people who could draw in school know what I'm talking about. So, when this ugly duckling girl meets Senpai, she is immediately smitten. Only problem is, she feels like she's not good enough to get his attention. hence the teasing. She teases and teases and teases a bit more because that way she has an excuse to be close to him. If anyone ever says anything about her acting sus, she can immediately dismiss that person's assumptions with some acid comment. Happens all the time in the show. Gamo and Yoshi almost immediately notice Naga is very protective of Senpai and doesn't allow anyone else to touch or tease him, while at the same time deflecting any insinuations that she might like him. And the thing is, this is a completely realistic portrayal of a young girl in love. Yes, girls can be extremely aggressive towards boys when they like them. Shin kickers, anyone? Yeah, if there is any girl watching this, which I seriously doubt since this is a very weird and vile channel, you know what I'm talking about, right? This happens a lot in real life. A girl, normally in her early teens, who likes a boy, has no idea on how to get his attention, and immediately treats him like the car in Street Fighter 2 bonus stage. If she says something to him, a compliment or an invitation to go out, the boy can ignore or dismiss it, and that's humiliating and painful. But if she pushes him, kicks his shins, or is mean to him, he has to acknowledge her and react, and she has the control of the situation. Nagatoro does the same. She annoys Naoto because that's her way of getting his undivided attention. Here's another proof of that. She's always touching him. Ladies, again, if there are any of you around, you know as well as I do that you never touch guys you are not attracted to. I'm not talking about lustful touching, but about making excuses to shorten the proximity between you and the boy you are interested in. I had a friend that made a habit of applying sunblock on me every time we met. She would make me sit somewhere and apply it to my arms and face with a big smile, and we eventually dated some time later. Now, imagine this. Our heroes live in Japan, a place where physical contact is never public and is performed only by partners in established and solid relationships. Then we have Nagatoro doing the "I'm a vampire and will bite your neck," or finding an excuse to rub Naoto's nipples. Yeah, she did that. Or tickling him, or riding him like a horse, or almost stealing a kiss from a sleeping Naoto when he was sick. All that touching has a clear objective. She's marking her territory. She thinks that at any moment, a girl with bigger boobies will spirit Naoto away, something she had nightmares about. Remember how jealous she acted when she noticed Naoto checking out Gamo during the obligatory beach episode? Yeah. All that physical contact is her way to imprint her presence on Naoto, her voice, her smell, her touch, so that no other girl can ever be on his thoughts. She knows she's safe when doing this, because different from other boys in the show who are, well, she knows that no matter how much she teases Naoto, he will never be disrespectful and will never, ever do anything inappropriate. So she can act like this and feel safe about it. Now, a lot of people called her behavior bullying, and at a first glance it seems like it, but there is a fundamental difference between Nagatoro's teasing and real bullying. Anytime Nagatoro feels like she crossed the line, when she makes Senpai cry for instance, she immediately stops and seems very distressed for hurting him. Bullying doesn't stop when you are hurt. It goes on and on because the bully wants to decimate you. Bullying never stops. I know this firsthand because I was relentlessly bullied at school. I was the big, fat and quiet kid who enjoyed anime and video games back when those things carried a massive social stigma. Oh yeah, despite what big-brained people say online, we used to be ostracized if we had nerd interests back then. I was teased, threatened, spat upon, girls would mock me, guys would gang up on me to beat me, and it escalated daily no matter how distressed and desperate I got. It stopped eventually, when I snapped and beat one of the most persistent bullies. Funny how the teachers acted quickly that day and sent me to the principal's office when they were helpless to do anything when I was the target. But that's besides the point. My point here is, Nagatoro is not a bully. She teases Naoto because she likes him. She becomes more and more enamored with him as time goes by, and all of her efforts have the objective of making her the only girl in his mind, even when not around. Then there is the other theme of this anime, growing and maturing. Both Naoto and Nagatoro help each other become better as people. Naoto is, to use a colloquialism from my motherland, a dead fly. A boy who is so passive and shy she becomes annoying. He's the kid who would order a Big Mac, be served a fried placenta, sigh, and just eat it anyway. That changes thanks to Nagatoro. Her assertiveness rubs off on him, and he becomes braver, more willing to take risks, like when he saved the gang from a bunch of jerks. That episode made him get the respect and friendship of all the girls. A lesser man would have made them his heroine, but not Naoto. No, he's a real Chad, with eyes only for his stand queen. Nagatoro, on the other hand, learns that she can be sweet around him, something she probably was afraid of because of her upbringing. When we meet her family, her older siblings, who remind me of Android 17 and 18 with switched hair colors, now you can't unsee that, we realize that they are just as abrasive as Hayase. There is love between them, don't get me wrong. Hayase's siblings are clearly very doting and protective of their little sister, but that love also comes with a lot of teasing. Nagatoro probably learned that love always involved friendly jabs and also standing up to and for those around you. She teases Senpai because it's her way of bringing him into her world, and also stimulates him to be stronger so he can protect her, which is what she understands as love, something he does more and more as the story progresses. Naoto, on the other hand, teaches that the things she probably thinks make her undesirable are exactly what he likes about her. Any compliment he makes to her has meaning. When he says the roundhouse kick she threw when they first met was cool, for instance, the boy she is into remembered something specific she did. He also said once that life with her around was never boring. Those are not skin-deep compliments like, "Girl, you're pretty and sexy." No, those are the kind of things only someone who really pays attention to a girl could say. Also, Naoto showed her that love doesn't always need to be abrasive, that she could be sweet and vulnerable and it wouldn't make her any less valuable. Ijiranaide Nagatoro-San is a story about young love, the mistakes, confusing feelings, and discoveries of this wonderfully painful time of life. Nagatoro is not a bully. She is a good kid, uneasy in her own skin, who falls in love and is scared of not being enough for the boy she chose. That insecurity resonates with the audience. We all liked someone once and were terrified by the idea of being rejected by them. We cheer for Naoto and Hayase to be together because we want them to be happy, and we want Nagatoro to realize she is beautiful and amazing and exactly what Senpai needs to become a happier and stronger man. Anyway, that's all I've got to say for today. Do you like Ijiranaide Nagatoro-san? Do you like any romantic anime? What's your favorite one? Let me know in the comments. And if you watched this video to completion, thank you. It means the world to me. And I'll see you again very, very soon. Until then, take care of yourselves and everyone you love. Cheers!